I get a couple of comments now and then from people saying that they've seen me on the road or in the yards. It turns out that's just Marcus. I've got a twin over here at Synergy. But I did run into one viewer this week, so let's jump into it. So it's November 23rd, Saturday, and this is my first load after the birth of my daughter. And of course I want to rush home to see her. But I've got to rush up to Syracuse, New York first. Camping World is about to start their inventory. And that means that this has to be there before 4 p.m. on Monday, the 25th. Otherwise, I'm stuck with it. Now, for those of you who are new to the RV transport industry, once a year, sometimes twice a year, Camping World will stop taking new deliveries for an entire week. In that time frame, they go through all of the travel trailers, pop-ups, fifth wheels, bunkhouses, motorhomes, you name it, at every location in the country, and they go through all their inventory to make sure all their records are correct. It's an unfortunate part of this industry, but it's something that can be planned for, and if you have a great dispatcher like I do, he will let you know well in advance and make sure you know before you take a load out right before the week-long shutdown. And on that note, I recently found out that everybody in the office has seen my videos. So if you're seeing this, Nate, I'm not kissing your butt. You are a good dispatcher. It is just really good to work with some competent and friendly people. It's a nice change of pace from the place I came from. Alright, let's get into everybody's favorite part, talking about money. This load paid $2.90 per mile, just like all of our standard triples right now. Going 570 miles to Syracuse, New York. This load had a total gross of $1,653 even. There's one other aspect to the pay that I did not discuss, and that is the tolls. Now, this route goes through upstate New York. Anybody who's been up there knows I-90 is a toll road in New York. I-80, I-90, the Ohio Turnpike going across Ohio, is also a toll road. And we are usually, almost always, reimbursed for outbound tolls. There's some weird exceptions where you may not be, but that is very few and far between. That being said, this load paid an additional $60 to cover those outbound tolls.
It is a cloudy, good trucking morning, guys.
So this is one of my usual stops whenever I'm headed out east. This is just east of Cleveland, up on I-90. Gotta kick the tire there and just give her a little spin. And I just wanted to show you guys this pretty cool variant truck. I have not seen a paint job like this on a truck before, at least not from Variant, honoring the men and women who have served in this country. And I just thought I'd show it off because I thought it looked pretty cool, so I think you guys will too. So it ended up being a very wet drive across upstate New York. Didn't get a lot of footage of it. Didn't really have too many issues, at least, thankfully. Just, a long wet drive. What are you going to do? That's the job sometimes. Sometimes just splashing in the puddles. So here we are the morning of delivery on Monday, and for those who aren't aware, there are travel plazas on the New York State Thruway on I-90. And these plazas have gone through some major renovations in the last few years. If you haven't been inside one of them in quite a few years, come take a look. Or if you've just never been inside one, you can see what kind of amenities they have. Now I will warn you, They are very, very pricey. Everything in there costs more. That's the price you pay for convenience. It could be 10 degrees outside, and I am not going to pass on a Dunkin' iced coffee. Now that we got breakfast, let's hit the road. Welcome to a very busy Camping World, Syracuse, New York. Everybody say hi to Sean over there in the white Ram. It was great talking with Sean while I was getting unloaded here while he was waiting on paperwork. And we had Brandon over here in the semi as well. Now, I put the camera away and didn't get a lot of video at delivery and unload there because I was talking with Sean and Brandon. Sean is actually a viewer of this channel, so big shout out to you, Sean. I really appreciate you watching the videos, and I always appreciate everybody who watches the videos. It's just really cool to actually run into somebody in person who watches the videos, especially someone from a different carrier. It's always good to talk to the air drivers whenever you're at delivery there. Sometimes, you know, you learn new things, you meet cool people, you hear how the other half is living over at a different company, even our sister company, Indiana Transport. So it's just always good to talk to guys, always cool to see people who watch the videos. And now it's time to go get some cars. As you can tell, it's kind of late in the day. Got held up quite a bit at Camping World because I was waiting behind Sean and Brandon and a Bennett driver, and it seemed like they just didn't really want to get me checked in after all those other campers, but they eventually got around to me. Took me about 5 hours. That was the longest and slowest Camping World I've ever been to. But again, I can't fully blame them. They had a lot of work come in that morning before the shutdown. The good news was I got out of there in time to go get these cars. Let's go get the first one here at IAA, Rochester, New York. And you guys know the deal. We're at the auto auction. Let's get the high vis on and get to it. I gotta tell you, this is one of those cars that I was really glad they had the loader for. Got this Subaru Impreza that has some heavy damage up front. Thankfully, sticking it on the forklift there for me. He's gonna go ahead and side load that. We're taking this back to Elkhart, Indiana for $450. This is car 1 of 3 for the return trip. Once we get all 3 cars on, I will get you guys the rate per mile that we're coming back for, and we'll give you a total for how much I made hauling 3 cars back from New York and Ohio. Now, if you've never been to an auto auction to load cars before, this is pretty standard for how they load them, whether it's an IAA or a Copart. And there's a lot of rules you have to follow. For example, the high vis. You have to wear a high vis shirt, vest, something like that. And as you can see me guiding this guy in the car onto my trailer here, you'll notice I am on the ground in the line of sight of the operator. That is a big thing. You are not allowed to be on your trailer while they are loading it onto your trailer there. So we are playing a little bit of lining up here. That is usually the hardest part, and As you can see there with the camera shaking, we got this thing down on the trailer. Now, the car was not perfectly centered. This operator, hats off to him, he was great. He came around to the other side and helped slide that over a little bit more so the car was more centered on the trailer. A lot of these guys, all you gotta do is ask. I mean, they're good people. You just ask them, hey, can you slide that over a bit, and they'll come do it for you. So, all that was left to do is throw straps on and hit the road.
Jesus. Mary and Joseph, this thing is rough. I think properly fucked.
So between the body skirt and the damage and just being a Subaru Impreza, this thing already sat really low on the trailer. And although there was a lot of damage, I was able to get the strap on there and get this thing tied down. One of the things I'll say is when you pick up a vehicle that's this damaged, it's always good to call your customer and make sure they know it is this damaged. And in this case, I was also calling them to let them know that this was not going to roll off the trailer. I was told it would run and drive, and I didn't even bother trying to start this up because there was no way this was rolling off the trailer.
Welcome to Casa de Connor. I got snubbed. Yeah, let's not even try and sugarcoat it. I got fucked. What you're looking at here on my wonderful pillow is an IAA transport manifest, a pull-out manifest. Let's move some stuff around here. Put it under light so you guys can see it. There's the IAA branch out here at Cleveland. Now, that's all blacked out because, well, today's the 26th. That says the 25th. I didn't pick this up, but I for sure have a dispatch order on it. One of the downsides to dealing with central dispatch is, unfortunately, these kinds of things happen. The good news is I was able to find something else. It's not paying as much, actually $25 less, but still over $1 a mile. It's actually taking me back home towards Fort Wayne. It'll fill the trailer. We'll drop one in Fort Wayne, we'll drop one in Goshen, then go drop one in Elkhart. Head back to the office, drop off all the paperwork and checks, and then that's it. Head home for Thanksgiving. I'm gonna stay here, eat my leftover breakfast burrito while I wait for the paperwork, because my dispatcher's awesome and he's going to take good care of me.
Welcome to Carvana, Cleveland, and let's recap. There's the wrecked Subaru, and you can see I got Dodge Avenger on the back there. So that was my second pickup. Unfortunately, I didn't have the GoPro batteries charged at the time. And the plan was to pick that up second, and then the third stop was IAA in Cleveland there. So I was going to have the loader drop that car right in the middle. First off, IAA actually doesn't do that, and I forgot about that rule, so that wouldn't have mattered. And second off, I got a double brokered load. Yeah, lucky me. So I don't actually know if it was double brokered or double dispatched or what happened. All I know is that I had a dispatch order from the broker, who was not the customer, not the end receiver of the car. And when I called the end receiver of the car, they said they had already had somebody pick it up the day before I got there on Monday. When I called the broker back about it, they basically just shrugged their hand and, you know, oopsie daisy, sorry. So that sucked a lot. You deal with shady brokers and shady people in this industry a lot when you're hauling cars. That is why some people choose to just haul campers and they don't haul anything back. But I was able to get worked out. I found a third vehicle coming out of Carvana here. Just got to move this Dodge Avenger forward, and then we can put the third car on the trailer. Now, there was a whole bunch of negative reviews on Google, and I was a little afraid of this Carvana place when I looked it up, but these guys were really quick at getting the car out to me. And as you can see, I was not the only driver that was there loading up. So, I don't know what all the negative reviews were for. These guys were awesome. Check the VIN there. Very important that you check the VIN, make sure they're bringing you the right car. The VIN is right on the windshield and also right down there on the door. Always good to check them both right on the door jamb there. And get this thing loaded up and take this Subaru to Fort Wayne. But before we do that, I know everybody's going to ask about pay. So, car 2 was the Dodge Avenger from El Rio, Ohio to Goshen, Indiana. That was a COD of $250. Car 3 was the Subaru Legacy loading up here, going to Fort Wayne, Indiana, and that was for $225. That brings a grand total of $925 coming back. When you do the math on that, that comes up to $1.62 a mile. So definitely could have done better. Would have helped to get that one load that was paying better at first that I got screwed out of. But for a quick 3-day run to New York State and back, that gives us a grand total $2,578, or about $859 per day before expenses. Not bad for a quick 3-day run before the holidays, if I do say so. Now, I swear, car hauling will have you unloading in some of the strangest places you never expected to. The used car lot that this was going to was smaller than the overall length of my truck and trailer. And the notes, thankfully, were very clear on this, if another driver wasn't already aware of what to do. I had a pretty good idea where I was going to unload this because Fort Wayne is home for me these days, or at least when I get there on the weekends. And we are unloading in the North Crest Shopping Mall Plaza here, and we are going to unload and then drive it across the street to the dealer. Because that's what good customer service means sometimes. Sometimes you gotta go the extra mile. Literally, pun intended.
Look, I like Frogger just as much as the next guy, but it's a touch ridiculous here.
And that is going to bring this video to an end. I know, I still have 2 cars on the trailer. I promise, if you stick around for next week's video, it's going to be worth the wait. That deserves a video in its own right. Frankly, this whole backhaul could have been its own video. But next week's video has a cool surprise in it, and you're going to want to stick around to see how we get that wrecked Subaru off the trailer. It's going to be a really cool video. I got some great footage for you guys to see. I look forward to sharing it with you, and I hope that you're there, subscribed, and ready to watch next week's video when it comes out. All of you, thank you so much for watching, whether you are getting something educational or entertaining out of these videos. I am so glad that you guys are enjoying them as much as you are. I enjoy making them for you guys and showing off what I will always say is the best job in the world. If you haven't already, hit that like and subscribe button. And I'm Connor for Crossbuck RV Transport. Thank you guys again so much for watching and all the support lately. Stay safe out there. Take care.